Hey, awesomes. All right, so I want to take a moment to kind of talk about the discussion post over the weekend, really highlight some things that you guys did a great job of highlighting already. I know a lot of times with the discussion posts, we make our discussion posts, read a few, post our replies, to those. Maybe we take some time to read some of the other ones, but um, I wish I could just read everybody's posts and highlight how awesome each one of them are. I want to use a few examples. So if I don't use yours, don't think that yours was bad. Okay. Anything wrong with it. I've selected a few here that I want to talk about because I feel like the kind of starting to highlight some of the things that I was really impressed that you guys picked up on. All of you did a really good job of defining technical communication. I like how Taylor sums it up. Technical communication is a way for someone to introduce specific ideas and pass on information to an intended audience. And I think thinking about an intended audience is so crucial when it comes to technical communication. So our next concept I want to kind of like segue into is I think because we need to think about the essay also has an intended audience, which you guys did a really good job of picking up on. She continues, this way of presenting data can be used to inform a person or a group of people to change their attitudes towards a subject or even to assist them on how to perform a certain task, right? We get that instructional quality sometimes that technical communication comes in. The form of communication can be transmitted in many different ways. Email, podcasts, text messaging, blogs, right, as some good examples. Text design plays a big role in how the information is received. And it also has the ability to excite or bore the audience. I love that because it does, right? Different modes of text design can also bring different feelings and emotions to the forefront when reading various documents. Yes, I love how we're kind of talking about the design elements, how we present the information, right? Our seeing the page as a grid, white space, text structures, all those things, right? Use of graphs, right? Are we in control of the document? How those things are presented can either excite or bore our audience, right? Kramer and Bernhardt mentioned that the arrangement and style of parts the document can invite or inhibit a reader to it, right? It's either inviting or it kind of has this blockade, right? For instance, use of grids and white space in a document gives the reader insight in how it should be approached and read. Yes, and when we're in control of the document, we're kind of guiding our reader along. So well done. I love that. Another good example of kind of like how we're talking about and thinking about all of our this way of kind of approaching text design, technical communication. Andrea's post here, we're talking about some of the examples, right? I've never thought about them. Stanley Kramer to explain. I'm quite used to writing MLA format, right? So this was an interesting read because we're starting to push back against that standard 12-point Times New Roman, double space, blah, 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 right? This boring, right? As Taylor mentioned, right? We're going to excite somebody or we're going to bore the crap out of them, right? So we're used to this, right? Now that is me, right? She says they should have just put I should have just put an @ sign right after my name, right? Because that's where we come from, right? We think about there's this one way to write, double space Times New Roman all the way through the end, and then boom, we're done, right? There's no excitement to it, right? There's no design to it. There's no controlling it. A lot of you mentioned that, talking about there's this limitation too. There's limitation and hindrance on creativity if all we're going to do is write in 12-point Times New Roman double space. So I expect us to we're going to push back against that, right? I think even the standard essay should not be written that way. The standard MLA, APA format, all those things are necessary at times, but out there in the real world, those things don't fly. They're not going to communicate. They're boring, right? There's no excitement to them, right? We get to use these design elements to excite our audience because we want to convey, right? We've got this cool information that we've just researched, right? We've got our cool, awesome ideas, our awesome perspectives, right? On whatever our topic is, we want to convey to people, right? We want them to be enticed, right? We want to have a certain level of incentive, right? To invite them in. I like how Taylor said to invite them in to read what we have to say and understand what we have to say, right? We could use those design elements to our advantage. So it's really excellent. I loved, just going to scroll through here because I wish I could read every single one of these posts. The conversation, the replies, the initial post, everything in here was just awesome. Awesome. I can't say it enough. All right, guys. Keep up that awesome work, okay? We'll start putting the discussion post together based on this wonderful discussions you've had this weekend, and we'll talk more about those later, and of course the other projects. But I just wanted to share this with you. All right, guys, have a great week. Take care. Bye now.